drive the blues away. Spend the hours with flowers your own. Though you'll be sad, they'll make you glad. Why delay it? Roses are cheap. They don't say it, but the thorns go deep. Ouch! I'm a flowers, the best ever grown. They seem to say, buy me today. Flowers, fresh flowers.
Have you any forget-me-not? Yes, ma'am. I just picked the small. Oh, here's your change.
Well, you may keep it.
All of it? Oh, thank you, sir. Much obliged, sir. Toinette!
Bluebell's counter.
I sold a man some flowers. What do you think?
He didn't pay you for them.
Yes, he did. He gave me $50. Look.
Well, hush my mouth. Hear that, Celine? My son done make himself a whole $50. Land living. Let me see.
It's real?
Bites real, taste real. I wish somebody'd come around and give me a $50 for some of my fried chicken.
Would it be possible for me to get waited on?
Yes, sir, Mister. Yes, sir. What is it, sir, you'd like this morning? One of my chicken legs or one of my wings? They's fresh and tender like it was just clipped off in an angel's back.
5 cents worth of pecan.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Come again, sir. Thank you, sir. Come again, sir. Can't you see he's just another one of those low-down, stingy Yankees? I bet you that's the first time he's opened his purse this week.
How can you always tell a Yankee when you see one, Toinette?
Instinct, honey, instinct. Didn't you see the way he poked his northern nose around Celine's food? You'd never see no southern quality folks doing that.
Maybe he wouldn't be a Yankee if he could help it.
Goodness, child, who would?
Mammy, I killed and I drowned it and I don't feel good neither.
Hush your mouth. Quit that yowl.
Who did it, Little Belle? Who killed you this time? Anthony and Francis, they threw rocks at me and kicked me and I knows I'm scared.
Well, then, if you said, I guess you ain't got no appetite. Chicken?
Look, Celine, look.
Let your mammy see that. Oh, my goodness, his brains is bulging out.
I'll take him right over to Father Josef. He'll fix that bum.
If you's going over to Father Joseph, you'd better slick up a bit. And keep this hat on, running around all day in the hot sun. You're going to get black as an Indian.
Come on, Little Belle. Good afternoon, Father.
Well, if it isn't Phillip and Jefferson, Davis, Stonewall, Jackson, Lily Bell Jones. Well, you're just a little bit late for the performance, boys. You never tire of watching my ballet dancers, do you, Phillip?
But they won't dance for me.
Well, they would if they knew you better. I may have to give them away someday. You don't know anybody who would like to take care of them, do you?
I reckon I do, Father. I take awful good care of them.
And will you be kind to them, too, Lily Bell?
Ouch! Oh, yes, I forgot, Father. Lily Bell's got a bulge on his head. They kicked me and they drowned me and my brains is bulging out.
My, why, your clothes are soaking wet. Here, let me see what the trouble is.
Ouch!
Oh, there now, Lily Bell. I hope I have enough salve left. I had to use most of it on Francis and Anthony just a little while ago. Seems the poor boys were set upon by some vicious little heathen who got the better of them in a brick fight.
My, wasn't that sinful?
And if funny thing, too, according to what they said. This little heathen looked very much like you, Lily Bell.
Why, Father, every little pickaninny in New Orleans looks like me. I ain't seen Anthony or Francis for a week or more.
Well, I'm glad of that, Lily Bell, because fighting is a terrible sin, but not telling the truth is even worse.
Yes, sir, Father.
Oh, by the way, Philip, I missed you at choir practice yesterday.
Oh, we went fishing for catfish down by the levee. Ouch! You heard what Father said about telling the truth, and I gotta tell the truth. Well, you don't have to go telling the truth for me. Oh, I'm sorry, Father, but I already know my hymn. Toinette taught it to me on the banjo.
On the banjo?
Yes, she played it kind of slow and holy-like, and it really sounded beautiful.
Yes, I'm sure it did. Philip, you never forget to mention Toinette in your prayers, as I told you, do you?
No, Father.
She's good to you, Philip. You're too young to know just how good Toinette has been to you.
I don't ever forget.
Ah, there, Lily Bell. I think that will do. Now, let me see. Well, I don't seem to have a banjo around, but do you think you could manage your hymn with the organ?
I reckon an organ will do just as well, Father. And I'll pump.
Yes, Lily Bell, I think you may pump. Maybe I should have you learn all the hymns with a banjo. What's the matter with you now, Lily Bell?
I'm repenting, Father. I was lied about Anthony and Francis, but they started the fight.
You're quite sure of that?
Yes, sir, Father.
And you promise not to do it again?
Yes, sir, Father, I promise. Amen.
Very well, then. Run along. And Philip, be at choir practice tomorrow. Catfishing can wait.
Yes, Father. Oh, thanks for fixing Lily Bell's head. You and your old saint. You done made me tell on myself. I'll go along.
The time is never dreary if the darky never grows. The ladies never weary.
With the rattle of the ball. Then come again, Susanna, by the gaslight of the moon. We'll someday your piano.
When the band goes out of tune,
Ring, ring the banjo.
I like that good old song.
Come again, my true love.
Oh, why you've been so long. the bubbles while the water's in the spring. The darky has no trouble.
What is that it's the beauty salvation will never lose their charm. When I roam the old plantation
With the true love on my arm. Ring, 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 I love that good old song. Come again, my true love. Oh, why you been so long?
Now I wonder who that can be.
Reckon Lilybell's run away from home again.
Let me handle that scallawag.
Good evening, Toinette.
Oh, good evening, Father.
I hope Phillip hasn't been misbehaving.
Oh, no, we thought you were Lilybell.
We're so glad you ate. Won't you sit down, Father?
Thank you, Toinette. Thank you. Oh, speaking of Jefferson Davis, Christopher Columbus, Lilybell Jones, I'm worried about him. Phillip, would you run along and see how his head is mending?
I have to help Toinette with the dishes. We're going down to the levee for the singing tonight.
You do what Father Joseph tells you. We's going there later on. Here, put your coat on.
You mean you don't need me to help you with the...
Toinette needs any help, she can tie an apron around me. Now, you run along, my boy.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Phillip. I suppose you know what I want to talk to you about.
Oh, everybody pounds me about that boy. Celine, she's been harping on it this afternoon. Nobody leaves me in peace. Master Phillip is doing all right. I've got my plans made for him, Father. Save my money, and pretty soon I'm going to send him to a white folks' school of quality. He's growing up to be a gentleman, maybe a doctor or a lawyer. He's going to be rich.
No, it's something more than that. The boy must have some people somewhere. Everyone can't have been wiped out. Toinette, you know who his people are.
There's lots of children left like him. Up in the country, whole towns was burnt down. I just picked him up a little baby, like so many of them was. I don't know nothing about his people, Father. The courthouse was burnt down and all the records gone.
Toinette, you belong to the DeTraver family, didn't you?
The DeTraver? I never heard that name before.
That's strange. The name DeTraver is over the gate to this place. You walk under it every day.
Is that so?
The DeTraver's daughter, Marguerite, married Phillip Ainsworth.
What you know about them Yankees?
How do you know they're Yankees, Toinette?
Oh, me? I don't know. But I just ain't never heard no such name in the South before.
I understand your loyalty to the South. Your fear for Yankees. But I think that Phillip...
Father, you ain't got it in your mind that my Phillip belongs to no Yankees, has you?
I have, Toinette.
Oh, no. No, Father.
I have a letter here. I've addressed it to Mrs. Harriet Ainsworth of New York City.
What's that letter say?
Not much. Nothing that is positive proof. But I'm writing her that I have reason to believe that her son's child is here. Her son, Phillip Ainsworth, married Marguerite DeTraver. He fought in the Southern Army and was killed. I hoped I could add to the letter that a faithful, devoted slave to the DeTraver family had cared for the baby Phillip with the love of a mother, and that now she was ready to corroborate my story.
I ain't got no truck in no Yankees. I don't know nothing about no Ainsworth. Master Phillip, he was born here. He belongs here, and he's going to be brung up Southern.
I've been called back to Rome. My work here is done. I shan't come back. Before I leave, I want to fulfill my duty to Phillip. I must mail this letter. Good night, Toinette.
Good night, Father.
Night skies turn into gray. Bright skies come into day.
with you tonight, Toinette?
I was worried about a letter Father Josef done wrote.
What business is it of yours if he writes a letter?
Oh, I ain't worried 'cause he write a letter. I was worried whether he done mailed it or not.
The trouble with you is you ain't got your words organized. I never worry except on Thursday. All week long I saves my words till Thursday. That's my worrying day. I set down and worry, and when I was all done, I know I was all through till next Thursday.
That might work for regular worries. But it won't work for the load I got.
Waiting for the sun to rise. We are waiting for the sun to rise. Waiting for the sun to rise. We are waiting for the sun to rise. Waiting for the sun to rise. Waiting for the sun to rise. We are waiting. We are waiting. Rise. Cast out worry. Cast out fear. Brother, raise your eyes. Strengthen all you standing here. Waiting for the sun to
May I help you, Mrs. Ainsworth?
No, thank you. Every morning you ask me if you may help me, and every morning I tell you no. Do I look as if I needed help?
No, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Well, don't do it again.
Yes, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Is your name Barrett?
No, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Where is he?
I thought he was in the...
What he is? What kind of a butler is it? Leaving the door open. Anybody can walk in. I never heard of such a thing. The moment I leave this house is over. Since when have you and I changed places?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ainsworth, but I was requested to take this animal for a stroll.
Is that animal of more importance than I am?
Yes, Mrs. Ainsworth. I mean, no, Mrs. Ainsworth. You see, I thought I left the door a wee bit ajar.
That's just it. Contrary to all my instructions. Don't do it again.
Yes, Mrs. Ainsworth. I mean, no, Mrs. Ainsworth. Shall I tell Miss Lucille she may have the carriage now?
Carriage? What for?
Miss Lucille's going to an afternoon party, Mrs. Ainsworth.
When I was her age, I walked.
Yes, of course, madam.
Oh, tell her she can have the carriage.
Yes, madam.
Will you be going to your room, Mrs. Ainsworth?
To my room? What for? I'm not an invalid. Do I look like an invalid?
No, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Well, bring the tea and toast into the library.
Yes, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Oh, shoot, hurry, Mother. I don't want to be late. Now, Lucille, darling, I'm doing my best. There are only two more. Besides, Aunt Harriet isn't back with the carriage yet. And I told Aunt Harriet particularly that I had to go to this party. Now, don't get all upset. You want to look your prettiest, don't you? Well, why doesn't she have some consideration for other people? We must remember, if it weren't for Aunt Harriet, we wouldn't have a carriage at all. Come in.
The carriage is ready for Miss Lucille.
Oh, you see? Well, it's about time. Now get Fluff ready for the party. Be sure to put that ribbon on him.
Yes, Miss Lucille.
Oh, darling, don't you think you'd better not take Fluff? He'll only be troublesome. I want to take him. Now, Lucille, dear, be sure and say goodbye to Auntie and thank her for the carriage just as Mother told you. I'll thank her.
Here's Fluff.
Now, please, dear, leave Fluff at home. Mother will buy you that nice pink dress with the ruffles you saw yesterday. And the hat, too? Yes, dear, and the hat, too. All right. Here, Barrett, you may take Fluff's coat off and give him a small piece of biscuit and just one caramel.
Yes, Miss Lucille.
say goodbye to Auntie. I told you I would. I've come to thank you, Auntie, for letting me have the carriage. I hope you didn't hurry back just on account of me.
Hurry back? I forgot you wanted the carriage.
Do you like my dress, Auntie? Oh, thank you.
Why don't you take off that fur piece?
Oh, I think it looks so pretty with my dress. See? Please may I wear it, Auntie?
Go on, if you want to smother yourself to death.
Oh, thank you, Auntie. If Auntie says no, I'm sure she knows best, dear. Goodbye, Auntie, dear.
Oh, run along, run along. What?
Is anything wrong, Auntie?
Oh, no, nothing wrong. Just some busybody getting exercised over a matter that doesn't concern me anymore.
What matter? What is it?
Margaret de Traver.
Oh. Wasn't that the name of Cousin Philip's wife?
That was the name of a southern woman your cousin Philip married.
But she died a long time ago, didn't she, in a fire or something?
Yes. Well, Philip made his own choice, took her people in preference to his own, and then fought for the South. And now this priest writes to ask me if Philip ever had a child. He seems to think that a foundling down there is my grandson. Rubbish. If Philip had ever had a child, I'd have known it long before this, wouldn't I? Of course I'd have known it. Go on, read it. They say there are lots of children down there they'd like to find homes for. Must be any number of them. Well, let the rebels take care of the road.
What are you going to do about it?
Do? Why, nothing, of course. What we suppose I'm going to do.
I think you're absolutely right. After all, goodness knows what the child may be.
As usual, Julia, your advice is wrong. The matter will have to be investigated. Oh, I suppose I'll have to go down there and settle it.
Good morning, Auntie. How do you feel? Did you sleep well?
The way I feel and the way I sleep is my own business.
What's the matter with dear Aunt Harriet? If I hadn't jerked my head back, she'd have snapped it off.
Plenty the matter.
Huh?
There's disturbing news from the South. It seems my cousin Philip left her son.
Well, I'll be darned. So Lucille has a little southern cousin, eh? But do you think it's a fact?
Fact or no fact, there's a chance it may be true. Aunt Harriet hasn't accepted it yet. But she's already got it into her head to go down there and investigate. And if it is true, do you want Lucille to be left penniless?
No, but still...
Don't be an idiot about it. You're so easygoing. Just stand there and say, well, let everything take its natural course.
As a matter of fact, that's just what I was going to say.
And there you are. You see, I know what's in your mind before you do.
Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of being married.
Now, listen. Before Aunt Harriet gets any further about going away, you go and talk with her. Tell her you'll go instead. She'd hate the journey anyway. But don't you tell her I put you up to it.
Yes, I could do that. And I need a vacation.
You're not going for the vacation. I wonder if you know what you are going for.
Sure. To get the boy.
Oh, my heaven, give me patience. You're going down there to prove that the boy is not what the priest suspects. Now, is that clear?
You mean... Oh, yes.
That's the place.
Wait for me.
Yes, sir.
Toinette! Father Josef wants you and Philip to come right away.
What for he want us?
He sent me for you. There's a gentleman come there in a carriage.
Come on, Philip, child.
Yes, this is a copy from the court record. A bill of sale showing that Toinette was bought by the de Traver family. She belonged to them.
And my cousin married into this family.
Yes.
But after all, this is just circumstantial evidence. Are there no Detravers left?
No. They're all dead, except Toinette, who belonged to them.
Well, you better not show a thing like this to Mrs. Ainsworth. Human chattels. She'd have an apoplectic fit.
You sent for me, Father Joseph?
Yes, Toinette. Come in. Isn't Phillip with you?
I sent him to the vestry to get ready for the choir, and then I told him to come right over.
Well, Mr. Layton, this is Toinette.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? Sit down, Toinette. Mr. Layton is a cousin of the late Phillip Ainsworth.
Oh.
He's come down here to talk with you about Phillip. Toinette, there's no use for you to deny that you belong to Marguerite de Traver. You love Phillip, don't you, Toinette?
What for you ask such questions, Father? You know I love him.
And if you love him, you must think of his future. You mustn't try to keep him from his own family. They can give him everything in life, everything Phillip should have.
I don't know who his people is.
Each time you say that, Toinette, the falsehood in it shows up more and more.
Does it, Father?
You know that you can say the word that would give Phillip back to his family. Come, tell us.
It was 3 or 4 years before you come here, Father.
Yes, Toinette.
It was the night of the fire, and all the men gone to war. I saved the baby, but I couldn't save my mistress, Miss Marguerite. She died in the fire. Then the news come that Miss Marguerite's husband was killed in the war. And when old Master de Traver died from bearing the war, I took little Master Phillip and run away. I tried to stay away, but I had to come back home. I can't tell no more, Father.
Evidently, there can be no question about it.
He'll have a good home, Toinette.
But you all, there's Yankees up there.
He doesn't look like a nogger, does he, Toinette?
No, he is all right. You sure his grandma's all right, too?
Poor Toinette. She can't believe there can be 2 good Yankees.
I'm sorry. You all have to excuse me.
But, Toinette, you're crying.
This gentleman is your kinfolks, baby.
Kinfolks?
Yes. Father Joseph done found out you got kinfolks. And you has another name. Your name is... Oh, it don't sound so Yankee. If you say it right, it's Ainsworth. And it's got a grandma, baby.
A hep?
Yes.
Way up in New York City. And this gentleman is going to take you up there.
Do you think I should go, Toinette?
Oh, of course, baby. He's going to live in a big house and have everything and be a gentleman and have a piano. Ain't y'all got a piano, Mr. Layton?
looks a right big place, isn't it?
Yes.
Is this where my grandmother lives?
Yes.
It's just like a palace.
Yes.
Mr. Layton, I've been wondering, how many people live in this town?
You ask more questions.
Almost 1.5 million, Sonny.
And all Yankees, I reckon.
Welcome back, Mr. Layton. I trust you had a pleasant trip.
Yes.
Indeed, I'm very glad to hear that.
I'll help you. Mother, he's back! Hello, Father. What did you bring me?
Well, Ralph, why didn't you telegraph?
Well, the train only takes 3.5 days now, so I thought I'd surprise you.
Did you get everything settled?
Well, to tell the truth,
Well, who in the name of goodness is this?
Where should I put my bag, sir?
put it on the floor. Julie, this is Phillip. Phillip, this is Mrs. Layton.
How do you do?
This is Lucille.
How do you do?
Barrett! Pick up the luggage.
Where shall I put them, sir?
Oh, just anywhere. Get them out of the way. Ralph, I'd like to talk to you privately. No, run along, dear. What I have to say to your father is not for little girls' ears. Ralph! You go and talk to the little boy.
Well, little boy, what have you got to say for yourself? What are you doing here, anyhow?
I'm supposed to live here.
Can you tell me any reason why you should?
Well, Mrs. Ainsworth is my grandmother.
That's ridiculous. She's my own aunt. If she had any other relations, she'd have told me about them.
Have you got a dog?
Have I got a dog? He's the most beautiful canine in New York. I guess you never saw a dog like him before.
Oh, I like dogs. Could I see him?
Well, I guess so. Come on. It's a wonderful pedigree.
Has he? Where is it?
Well, I don't know where it is.
Well, then how do you know he's got one?
All high-class dogs have pedigrees.
My friend Lilibelle has the best dog in the world, and he hasn't got one. But he does tricks. Can your dog do any?
Can he? Just watch. Fluff, get up. Fluff, you hear? Sit up.
Maybe he's tired.
No, he's hungry. Oh, would you be gentleman enough to get that box of caramels?
Is that what he eats?
Certainly. He's a very genteel dog.
Well, why did they put it way up there?
Oh, I can't get it. Come on. Get up here.
Your story's absurd. How could you bring that urchin here?
But, my dear, it was quite evident.
I made the greatest mistake of my life when I let you go down there. The second mistake. Come in.
Oh, Mrs. Ainsworth has returned, Mrs. Layton.
Now what are we going to do?
Well, Julia, I've done my best. Do anything you want.
Huh. So you're back.
Yes, Auntie. Just back.
Well, what's the matter? You look like a naughty little boy caught stealing the jam. What did you find out?
Well,
You see, Auntie, Ralph is so sentimental. He's so easily taken in by people.
How has he been taken in?
He brought the boy back without any proof.
What?
well, Auntie, you see, it's like this. I thought the boy was your grandson.
And why?
Well, the colored woman who's looked after him since his birth, she said...
Never mind what she said. What did you find out? What proof? What papers? What documents? A certificate of birth? Anything?
The only proof he has is what the colored woman told him.
Yes, but Julia, I took her word.
You have the brains of a mouse. I've always suspected it. Now I know it.
The boy sings beautifully.
You fool. Don't give me any further proof of your asininity. I've had enough. You certainly have been taken in. Huh. Well, where is the boy?
Upstairs.
Something must have happened to Lucille.
Oh.
Are you my grandmother?
Grandmother Fiddlesticks. Whoever told you I was your grandmother?
Oh, Father Joseph told Toinette.
That's the colored woman.
Barrett. I want to speak to you two in the library. Clean up this mess.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I help you?
Oh, no, I don't think it'll be necessary. Can I help you?
Why, no. I'm all right, I guess. But she was awful mad, wasn't she?
She did seem a little annoyed.
My name is Phillip. What might your name be?
Barrett,
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Barrett?
how do you do?
Of course, the priest had no right to put such ideas into the boy's head.
The idea of his calling me grandmother.
Well, there seems to have been a mistake all around. What do you want me to do?
What do I want you to do? I bundle him up and send him back where he came from.
Aunt Harriet, I think Ralph and I can find a way to handle this.
Well, do as you please. Only understand one thing. I'm not going to have my house turned into a home for foundlings.
No, he can't go back. Because if there's any truth in this Toinette statement, it'll open the whole affair up again. We'll have to think of something else.
Will you go ahead? I've done my thinking.
Are you losing sight entirely of Lucille's future?
No, I'm not. Nor am I losing sight of the fact that the boy is Phillip Ainsworth's son.
Oh, you are a cold-hearted man.
You're not eating.
You know, Toinette said I was going to my grandmother's. Somebody must have made a mistake.
Well, I don't know what it is all about. I'm sure everything will turn out all right, though. Go ahead and try to eat a little.
This is a right big room, isn't it?
Big Scott.
Oh, they're my white mice. Father Joseph gave them to me. Big and dead.
Well, Father, you I'd keep them out of sight.
Thank you. Do you think you could get them something to eat, Mr.
Barrett.
Oh, yes, Mr.
See,
Barrett.
what would they eat? Say, how about a little squab?
No, that might spoil them. I think they'd like some cheese. Have you got some?
Oh, yes, we have a very nice stove, a nice ripe roquefort.
Just cheese.
I'll get them a little of each. Now, you go ahead and eat.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Mrs. Ainsworth. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, Master Phillip. I thought I'd better come up and show you just how to turn out the gas. See, occasionally people who aren't used to this modern convenience are inclined to blow it out like it was a lamp. Well, the results are usually more or less fatal. Now, if you'll just get in bed, I'll show you how it's done.
Thank you.
Now, watch me. You see, it's very simple. Well, good night, Master Phillip.
Good night. Oh, Mr. Barrett.
Yes?
I was wondering,
Wondering? About what?
you know, ever since I was a little boy, Toinette came in to hear my prayers. And you know how it is. It's sort of like a habit.
Well, I'll be glad to accommodate.
Oh, thank you. You kneel, too.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Do you want to start, or shall I start?
I think maybe you'd better.
All right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Flowers, be happy and gay. They smell so sweet, they drive the blues away. Spend the hours with what's your own. Though you be sad, they'll make you glad. Why delay it? Roses are cheap. They don't say it, but the thorns go deep.
Oh, flower boy.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like some flowers?
How much are they?
10 cents a bunch, ma'am. And they haven't been picked for more than 10 minutes.
I'll have 2 bunches, please.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Come here. What are you doing? Where'd you get those?
In your garden.
Don't you realize that no one is allowed to pick the flowers in my garden?
I'm sorry.
Making a spectacle of yourself peddling in the street? What did you do it for?
Well, to make some money.
Money? What do you want me money for?
I thought maybe I could pay you for the vase I built. I got a quota already.
That's no excuse for ruining my garden. Now you leave my flowers alone.
Yes, ma'am.
And go on, get in the house immediately.
Yes, Mrs. Ainsworth.
I don't know what children are going to do next.
What is the child's age?
9 years.
Nationality?
American.
The governing board will approve his admission at our next meeting.
Or is there any question?
No, merely a formality. Just a matter of a few days.
Barrett,
Yes, ma'am.
take those things upstairs to the boys' room.
Auntie, are you buying clothes for Philip?
He has to have some new clothes to make him presentable if we're going to ask somebody to adopt him.
It is really beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I'm afraid you'll break the hearts of all those little ladies at Miss Lucille's party tomorrow.
Do you think they'll let me play my banjo at the party?
Of course they will. You know, I've always wanted to learn to play an instrument. For my own amusement, of course.
I'll teach you.
What, me play the banjo? I'm afraid I couldn't.
Oh, it's easy. I'll show you. Sit down.
You really think you can?
Sure. Now put your fingers up here. Put your little finger over here. Now, prick it.
Hey, I almost did it.
Almost. Watch me.
The Camptown ladies sing this song, doo-da, doo-da. The Camptown racetrack 5 miles long, oh, doo-da day. Want to run all night, want to run all day. I'll bet my money on the bobtail nag, somebody bet on the bay.
Very simple.
I'll come down there with my hat caved in, doo-da,
could only learn how to sing.
Oh, muley cow, come on, pretty pack. Do-da, do-da. Tip bobtail flinker over his back. Oh, do-da day. Want to run all night, want to run all day. I'll bet my money on the bobtail nag. Somebody better.
Yes, Miss Lucille.
So there you are. I've been looking all over for you.
What is it, please?
I want to know if everything has been attended to for my birthday party. It's tomorrow, you know.
I'm quite sure that everything's been attended to.
I think you'd be positive instead of wasting your time with this little rebel. Who's a rebel?
Now, let's all be ladies or gentlemen, or both.
Take that back or I'll smack you.
Huh? He'd smack a lady. Well, I won't take it back. I'm going to report you to my mother. And just for that, you can't come to my party either. And another thing, I'll see to it that you won't go with us to Barnum's museum tonight.
You and I'll go to Barnum's Museum someday. Just you and I.
Oh, I don't care if I don't go to Barnum's Museum. But I did want to go to the party. I heard so much about Barnum's Museum.
I never heard of anybody going to a museum at night.
Ah, but this is different, my dear. This is Barnum's Museum. It's all full of freaks and things. Funny things.
Ready, my cloak? Thank you. Ready?
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Why?
I bothered you.
I'm used to being bothered. But you didn't. Come over here. Come on. Sit down. Sit down. This Toinette never told you anything about your parents until a short time ago, did she?
No, ma'am.
No. Not until the priest had interested himself.
I reckon not.
Toinette was quite poor, wasn't she?
Well, we had chicken once a week.
Don't you think it's strange she kept it from you if she knew who your parents were?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
What did she tell you about your father?
She said my father was quality folks. Mrs. Ainsworth, was he your boy?
Why'd you want to leave the South? Didn't you like it down there?
Oh, I didn't want to leave. I sure used to have a lot of fun.
What fun can you have down there?
Oh, picking flowers and selling them and catching catfish and playing on the levee and singing. I reckon I like the singing best of all.
Well, you can't pick flowers down here, you know. And you can't catch any fish. But you can sing, can't you?
I could, but you've got to feel like singing before you can sing.
Don't you know any other songs except that flower song?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I know lots. Ave Maria, The Lord's Children, Swanee River. I think that's the first one Toinette taught me.
How'd it go?
away down upon the Swanee River, far, far away.
That's not singing, that's just speaking of peace.
There's where my heart is turning ever. There's where the old folks stay. All this world sad and dreary, everywhere all wrong. Oh, darkies, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home.
What good's it going to do you thinking and worrying about that Phillip all the time?
I ain't worried. I was joyful. I was just thinking what a good time my Phillip is having.
You can't fool me. You was worrying yourself into the grave about him. I sure wished I could get rid of that Lily Bell so easy. Maybe Father Joseph was here, he could rate him up a grandmother someplace.
Oh, I know it's for the best. But I wouldn't wish you no such luck.
All this world I'm sad and weary, everywhere all wrong. Oh, darkest, how my heart grows weary. Far from the old folks at home.
Very good. Very good indeed. Last time you went to bed, Jim. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Master Phillip, I brought you some punch and cake. You can have a little party of your own.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett.
Now, children, your little hostess will entertain you on the piano.
I'm not coming again if I have to listen to all this just to get a piece of cake.
Away, spend the hours with flowers. tree. They don't say it, but the thought so deep.
Now, you won't stay here, children.
Footsteps ever grow. They seem to say.
Philip! Give me that.
Please don't. That's my banjo.
Here. What is all this? What is this?
He's disturbing Lucille's party, sitting up here singing and playing that thing.
Why isn't he playing that thing downstairs with the other children?
Oh, yes. Won't you come downstairs and entertain Lucille's guests?
Well, I don't mind.
Oh, come on, Philip. This boy will sing for you, if you wish. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Something else, young man.
Oh, yes, ma'am. If you'd like. Wait a minute.
Oh, let's all go back in the living room.
Listen, fellas. You've got to dance for me. Just this once. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show you something. I reckon there's nothing like this even in Barnum's museum. Don't be scared. They won't hurt you.
Those nasty little mice frighten me to death. I wish you'd get them out of here.
Just watch me.
Wait a minute.
Everybody is running about with the places on fire.
Philip and those awful mice. And our child a nervous wreck. It won't go on much longer. What happens tomorrow?
Julia.
No, no, Breen. Quick.
That's all of them.
Well, I should hope so.
Thank you for helping.
And thank you for turning my house into a menagerie. How long do you think that you can go on breaking up my things like this?
I think I'd better go to my room.
I should say so. Barrett, clean up this mess.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Marty, you got yourself into something this time.
Well, you don't have to worry, do you? I can stand it.
Maybe you wouldn't think so. You know what I do. Somebody's going to be put in an orphan asylum. And what's more, we drowned those awful mice of yours.
I'm leaving.
And where do you think you're going?
I'm going back to Toinette.
Oh, no, you're not. The only place you're going is back upstairs to your room.
But I don't want to go to my room.
Well, you're going anyway.
Mrs. Layton, I beg your pardon, but I wouldn't do that. You've already done enough to that boy.
How dare you speak to me like that?
Miss Barrett, have you forgotten yourself?
No, sir, I haven't.
What's going on here? What is all this?
What is it? This ungrateful boy is trying to run away.
If I were in his place, madame, I'd do the same thing.
Oh, Aunt Harriet, you're not going to allow servants to
Yes,
talk to me
surely,
like
Aunt
that.
Harriet.
Certainly not. No butler in my employ can talk to me like that. You're discharged.
Please, Mrs. Ainsworth.
Now that you're no longer in my employ, if you've anything to say, say it.
Well,
Well, go ahead, talk.
I'm sure you don't realize what's been going on behind your back.
Behind my back? What's been going on behind my back?
Now, please,
I'll be quiet. Well, go on, Barrett, go on.
You see, the entire household's been against this boy ever since he came here. I think he should be allowed to go back home. It's all wrong. And when I think about his white mice, well, that was the last straw.
What about his white mice?
let me explain. We simply had to drown them.
You drowned this child's pets. How courageous.
But you don't understand. They offended Lucille. As a matter of fact, ever since this boy's been in the house, he's offended Lucille.
Everything's offended Lucille. And Lucille offends me. And you too. And you. Well, have you anything more to say, Barrett?
No, I think that's all, ma'am.
Very well, then. You are re-engaged.
Oh, thank you.
If this man stays, we go.
This man stays. It is all wrong, Barrett. I've been thinking so for some time. Tell Bernice to pack my things and pack your own. You're going with me and Phillip.
Where are we going?
All right.
You said you wanted to see Toinette, didn't you?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Well, so do I.
It seems you've made your third mistake.
Oh. Getting so that nobody can sleep in this house. Nothing has to be done about that boy.
I want so much to see my Phillip once more before I passes on.
You ain't going to die. Ain't I put the rabbit's foot right where the sickness am? Where's that sassafras?
Oh.
Here, drink this. Now, don't you worry. You ain't going to die. Because when I say you can't die, you can't die. I'll be back tonight. You keep her nice and warm. Put a hot brick in her bed. Here's the aspirity bag. You can use that, too.
What's the matter with her anyhow, Doctor?
I don't know. I just ain't got the diagnosis figured out exactly. It might be the liver and it might be the lungs. And again, it might be her heart.
That's what it is, Doctor. Just grieving about that boy. Is she gonna die?
Oh, she's a goner.
But you said that she
When
was...
I say she dies, she dies. Who's the doctor around here anyway?
All right. But if she dies, I was gonna give her the bestest funeral New Orleans ever had.
You won't have to wait long.
Hello, Little Belle. Is you Phillip or is you ain't? It's me, all right. How's Toinette? Oh, she's a goner. Toinette! Toinette!
Am I his grandmother, Toinette?
He sure is.
What are you crying about?
Who's crying? Don't be silly. Little boys, I said silly questions always.
Is you one of them Yankees?
What's the matter? Don't you like Yankees?
No, sir.
Didn't you ever hear of Abraham Lincoln?
Hear of him? Why, that's me. I was Abraham Lincoln, Stonewall Jackson, George Washington, Lily Bell Jones.
I'm sure gonna miss her. That woman got well mighty fast.
Naturally, I was the doctor.
And we was gonna give her the bestest funeral New Orleans ever had.